Hey ladies and gentlemen, Steven here from Redolessence and welcome back to another video. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it and I hope that this video finds you well. In today's episode, we're going to be taking a closer look at a fragrance by the company Bdk, and this one is called Tabac Rose, so make sure to stay tuned. Before I begin my fragrance review of Tabac Rose by Bdk, I do want to mention that if you are a fan of fragrance-related content, if you like fragrance reviews here on YouTube, but also top 10 videos, giveaways, unboxings, special guests, interviews, and pretty much anything having to do with fragrances, please do consider supporting this channel by subscribing to it. All you have to do is click on that red button in the corner. And of course, while you're at it, please be sure to enable notifications by clicking on the bell. This way, whenever I do put out these videos, they will get delivered straight to your feed. You never need to worry about missing any of my future uploads. So here we have a fragrance that has gotten a lot of hype. A lot of people have been talking about it, especially in the Facebook groups. I see a lot of interest over this fragrance, which I believe used to be an exclusive at Lucky Scent. And you can find this fragrance over at Lucky Scent. I'm going to leave all of the information down below. And of course, they do have 100% authentic products. And of course, they are a licensed distributor for Bdk products. Now, I'm a huge fan of Bdk, and I've actually had the opportunity to interview David Benedek, who is the creative director behind the brand. And so I'm going to leave a card to that interview up here, but also a link to it down below if you would like to see that interview where I go a little bit more in detail about many of the creations from the brand and what his inspiration and influence was. But this one is created by perfumer Julien Rascounet. And I'm personally a huge fan of his work. He has done so many fragrances, and Tabac Rose is one that is really impressive to me. It has that Turkish rose in there, you have Italian lemon, you have this green undertone, but you also have this chocolate accord, which I think is to die for. If you are a fan of gourmand fragrances, but you want a really pleasant twist on gourmand fragrances, I think you're gonna love this one, and I'm personally loving this one as well. And I would say it's in my top 3 favorite fragrances from the brand. I'm excited to tell you more about the smell, but let's start things off with the presentation. So I do apologize for not having the box on hand. However, if you are interested in seeing what it looks like, you can very quickly find an image of it on Google. But here we have the bottle, and this is a gorgeous bottle. I really like the detailing on the label here. Just says Bdk Parfums on the right-hand side. And then you have the name of the fragrance, Tabac Rose, on the left, and this is an eau de parfum concentration. All of your information may be located on the bottom of the bottle on a sticker. And the cap for this fragrance clicks into place very securely. You can pick this one up from the cap. Bdk is engraved into the cap, and the distribution on the atomizer is nice and wide, and it also has a pressurized atomizer so you can control how much you want to spray. Let's continue with the smell. So as soon as this fragrance opens up, you are going to get this beautiful combination of Turkish rose and plum. There's this juicy, fruity plum note in the opening that I think is to die for. So you have that floral nuance, and the Turkish rose is definitely coming across loud and clear. There is an abundance of natural ingredients used in this fragrance. And I think it's that introduction with the lemon and that citrusy opening that really makes it so inviting and swooning and so romantic. And of course, you know, when you think of romantic compositions, you think of sweet fragrances, you think of gourmand fragrances. Of course, if you're thinking of Valentine's Day, you're thinking of a bouquet of roses, right? And that's what you're getting in here. You're getting rose and chocolate. This is like the #1 Valentine's Day fragrance that I can think of. I know there are a couple others that have rose and chocolate in them, but there's just something about this one with the uniqueness, the plum, that chocolate accord. You have that Turkish rose. It comes across smelling so natural, and it's so long lasting too. It has this gourmand prowess, but I feel like the gourmand elements or the sweet elements really share the stage. I'm also getting this vanillic sweetness in the base that I think is the perfect complement to that chocolate accord that is used in the heart. And I feel like the diversity of the notes going from the brightness of the citrus to kind of like the spicy chocolatey and Turkish rose thing. And then in the base, it has this green and sweet nuance. You know, you have a little bit of that patchouli from Indonesia. And so I think this is a spectacularly well done fragrance, and definitely one of the best from Bdk, if not their best. Now, I know I have a lot of love for Rouge Smoking. That is probably one of my favorite fragrances. It has the cherry, it has the vanilla. It's such a gorgeous creation. And, you know, some say it leans a little bit feminine. I think it's perfectly unisex. And I think also Wood Jasmine is a fantastic fragrance. Also having this resinous plum thing going on in there. And so perhaps that one is a little bit darker. But this one has that rose ingredient that really breaks up that darkness, while also retaining and conveying that ample sweetness in here that I think makes it so delectable and so romantic, and the perfect fragrance for if you're going on a date, if you're looking for something that is sweet, if you're looking for something that is really going to turn heads and leave a lasting impression, definitely look no further than Tabac Rose. If you're thinking of other sweet fragrances, those are really great fragrances to wear at like chain restaurants, right? If you're going to like an Arby's or an Outback Steakhouse or a Houlihan's or Applebee's or something like that, then you wear one of those fragrances. This is for the super classy 5-star restaurant, right? Because you're wearing something that is unconventional. You're wearing something that's really going to stand out, something that is super elegant and exquisite. And I personally love this one. You know, I do own many BDK fragrances, and I own fragrances from a variety of different brands. And you know, I'm always going to recommend the ones that really resonate with me and that I absolutely love. And there is no exception here. I love this one to death. It's definitely one of the brand's best. Let's go ahead and finish things off with my overall assessment. Now, first up, I took a look at the uniqueness and the overall smell, and to me, this does smell quite unique, especially considering a lot of the ingredients that are found in here. Usually I smell a lot of rose fragrances. I also smell a lot of chocolatey fragrances, and I also smell a lot of cinnamon fragrances, but none quite can combine those notes the way that this one does, and it smells super unique. And I can see why a brand like Lucky Scent is carrying this fragrance and why they have taken such interest into this fragrance. Definitely one that I would recommend. Once again, if you are interested in getting a sample of it even, you may do so at Lucky Scent. All of the information is going to be down below. Longevity on this one is beast mode, 12 plus hours. One of the longest lasting fragrances in my collection. I think a viable contender in the longevity department is Wood Jasmine, but also by BDK. Wood Jasmine lasts a very, very long time. And so this is no slouch in the performance department. Projection is fantastic for the first 3 hours of application. And it wasn't until that 8-hour mark that it started to sit a little bit closer to the skin. In terms of the versatility, this is a cold weather beast. And so I would not wear this one in the summertime, especially when it gets hot out there. It will be cloying, it will choke you out. However, we are in the heart of autumn and I know winter is approaching. This is the perfect time to wear this one. And hey, even on Valentine's Day, like I said, if you're getting a chilly February and it happens to be quite cold out there, I think this would be the perfect time to wear this fragrance just because of the rose and the chocolates and all of the fantastic goodness that it conveys. In terms of it being a unisex fragrance, I totally think so, especially considering the fact that a lot of men in the Middle East have an affinity for the note of rose, and I know it's a universally respected and beloved note. I think that it is perfectly unisex, and I wouldn't wear this one casually. Like I said, this is the type of fragrance you wear when you're going on an exquisite date to a 5-star restaurant. It definitely conveys that sort of atmosphere to it. And in terms of the presentation, quite gorgeous. If you want to learn more about the history of the brand, once again, I'm going to leave an annotation up here or a card up here, and I'm going to leave a link down below. So definitely check out my interview with David Benedek if you want to get more information and know-how on how this fragrance came about and how this company came about. But my final verdict is I absolutely love this fragrance. I think it's in the top 3 best releases from BDK. And I would say this is almost vying for the #1 spot. You know, I love Rouge Smoking. I love Wood Jasmine. And there are a lot of other fragrances that I like too. Crème de Cuir is another fantastic leather-based fragrance from the brand that I enjoy wearing a lot, especially now as it's getting a little bit colder. But in any case, love this fragrance. Definitely check it out. I have a feeling you will really enjoy it. And once again, that was Tabac Rose by BDK. So once again, thank you all so much for tuning in. I really hope you took something of value from this review. If you did, please show your support to this channel by subscribing to it. All you have to do is click on that red button in the corner. And of course, while you're at it, please make sure to enable notifications by clicking on the bell. This way, whenever I do put out these videos, they will get delivered straight to your feed. Thanks again for watching. I love you all. We'll see you next time. Bye.